Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Hello and welcome. You've tuned into Business Saturday on CNBC TV18 this afternoon, and I'm Nitya Balakrishnan. Straight then to all the top stories we're tracking this hour. Let's get straight to the big buzz on Deal Street. We told you first, and it could be a reality soon. IDFC Bank and Capital First are likely to announce their merger any time today, and we have Nisha Podar who's bringing us all the exclusive details. Nisha, thanks for joining in. And what exactly are you picking up about this mega merger?
Good afternoon, Nitya. It's turning out to be quite a busy Saturday for all of us, and especially coming in from the financial services space, it seems. So the big deal that we are talking about here is IDFC Bank merging with itself, Capital First, which is an NBFC. So those talks right now, the proposal is already in the board of both the companies. We reported that earlier yesterday. And as I gather from sources with direct knowledge, both the boards are right now currently meeting and maybe just about wrapping up their board meeting. So that announcement could be really expected anytime soon. What we're talking about here is Capital First, with its large retail portfolio as an NBFC, coming and merging and realizing its dream of becoming a bank. V. Vaidyanathan being the head of this merged entity is what we gather. And with IDFC Bank, which has been anyway scouting for retail presence through inorganic route, is looking at merging Capital First with itself. Important thing which all the analyst community as well as the shareholders would be watching out for is the kind of swap ratio which the two boards would be approving. Now, reports have been suggesting that 1:14, that is for every share of Capital First, 14 shares of IDFC Bank would be given to each shareholder. That is the ratio being talked about. By that means, definitely for IDFC Bank shareholders, there will be massive dilution. It is going to be an expensive deal nonetheless, because IDFC Bank is not as richly traded as Capital First is. So all eyes would be on the swap ratio really going forward. Shareholders' approval will be an important bit to watch out for in this particular case. But remember that it could be a win-win for both of them, because both the companies had been scouting for strategic partners, and Warburg Pincus has 35% stake in Capital First, had been looking around of monetizing through any particular strategic deal. So that will get diluted and will become a bank as well. So all those details really expected to be announced by the two boards which are meeting currently. We do gather IDFC Bank board could be meeting outside of Mumbai, while Capital First could be right here, and those board meetings would be just about concluding, but swap ratio of utmost importance here, Nitya.
Well, thanks so much for those details, Nisha, but do hang on with us. We're keeping it with the top corporate news. And India's biggest mortgage lender, HDFC, has informed the exchanges that it plans to raise around 11,000 crore rupees. They will do it via issuing preference shares to the shareholders. And that's not all. The HDFC board also approved raising around 18,096 crore rupees through qualified institutional buyers. Well, back again, Nisha is joining us, and KK Mistry is joining her on the phone line. So, Nisha, all over to you then.
Thanks for that, Nitya. As I said, it's a day for the financial services space, it seems. So, Mr. KK Mistry is right here with us. Mr. Mistry, thanks so much for joining us on CNBC TV18, a huge fundraising. But of course, you had earlier notified to the exchanges that you would be raising about 13,000 odd crore rupees. So, the 11,100 odd crores that has already been approved by the board has some marquee private equity players like KKR, GIC. Could you take us through the details, and also how you're going to use the proceeds of the funds raised?
Sometime in December, our board had met, and we had announced at that time that we are looking to raise 13,000 crores. A bulk of that 13,000 crores was to be raised which was being raised, was planned to be invested in HDFC Bank. 8,500 crores was to be invested in HDFC Bank. Then we had also said at that time that we need some capital for our foray into health insurance, because we believe that the health insurance market in India is huge and affords massive opportunities, and we could look at both organic or inorganic growth in that. We had also said that we would look at creating some kind of a foray into a stressed real estate asset fund. It could be either a fund structure or it could be a company structure. There again, it's our core competence. We understand real estate. We know that there are several projects in India, real estate projects, housing projects, which are stuck because the developer has not been able to complete the project. And we could, with our expertise on real estate, be able to acquire those projects in an incomplete stage, get a good developer to complete the construction, and then
Yes, go on.
give it the HDFC brand and sell it in the market at a higher price. So this was the reason why we said we would raise capital. We were planning to raise capital. Now, the committee met this morning and has decided that out of the 13,000 crores of capital issue, 11,000 crores will be in the form of a private placement, and 2,000 crores will be, or roughly 2,000 crores, it's 1,896 crores to be precise, will be in the form of a QIP. The 11,000 crores, which is a preferential offer, carries with it a one-year lock-in period, which means an investor who acquires the shares to the preferential route cannot sell these shares for 12 months. There are five investor groups to whom the shares have been offered. One is GIC, that's the government of Singapore. Then comes KKR. Then there is a Pringy, and then there is Homers. Homers is a large Canadian pension fund, and then Carmignac, which is a French fund. So these are the five broad investors.
All right, quite a few marquee private equity players, then an 11,100 crore rupees raised through this preferential allotment of shares. But you also have about 1,800 odd crore rupees remaining that you'll be doing through a QIP placement. Could you also tell us the timeline for that, Mr. Mistry?
SEBI rules require that just now what we've done is we've taken the approval of the board and the board committee to go ahead with this notice which goes to the shareholders seeking shareholder approval. So we have to give shareholders 30 days to give their response, to get the approval. At the end of 30 days, once we get the shareholder approval and all other regulatory approvals, if any, that are required, we will then go ahead with the process of allotment, which has to these preferential shareholders, which has to be done within 15 days. The QIP offer will come anytime after the shareholder approval is in place, depending on market conditions. It's not a very large amount. It's a relatively smaller amount. We could do it anytime. Under SEBI rules, it has to be completed within 12 months of getting the shareholder approval.
Right. So that QIP would be of about 2,000 odd crore rupees. But as far as the 8,500 crore rupees is concerned, you also said that that will be really utilized for maintaining your shareholding in HDFC Bank, where it will get diluted because of their own fundraising as well. What is the timeline and process for that, Ms. Mistry?
See, that depends on getting approvals from HDFC Bank shareholders. They are having an extraordinary general meeting, so we need approval of HDFC Bank shareholders and other regulatory approvals that HDFC Bank is required to take before we can put capital.
Right. Insurance sector is quite abuzz with M&A activity, Mr. Mistry. So what are these inorganic opportunities that you are right now exploring for your health insurance space, for which you have also raised some money? So you have enough kitty right now for that inorganic as well. So many are on sale. Which are the opportunities on your radar?
See, we've not identified any particular health insurance company or anything within the mortgage business, but I said we keep our eyes and ears open. Any good opportunity that comes up, whether it is in health insurance or, frankly, whether it is even in respect of any of our other subsidiaries or the mortgage business itself, we are happy to look at. Obviously, valuations being right, synergies being in place. So once we got the capital, we have the capital power to be able to do that.
So if I look at the entire fundraise, Mr. Mistry, of 13,000 odd crore rupees, 8,500 crore goes in maintaining the HDFC Bank shareholding for HDFC Limited. The rest, you have almost $1 billion to really invest in. The three areas that you specified are mortgage, as well as the stressed asset space, and also health insurance. How are you going to deploy this, if you can give more color on that?
Difficult to give you a breakdown of how that money is going to be utilized, because it's dependent upon the opportunities that come up. So we'll have to evaluate these opportunities over the next few months, and then as the opportunity comes up, then we have the capital to be able to deploy in that business.
And some more color on also the stressed asset fund that you're looking to really have in the real estate business. So how big could that fund be? And would you be also tying up with another, say, private equity fund or any other such deep-pocketed investor for this particular space, Mr. Mistry?
Frankly, all options are open at this moment. This is pretty much in the drawing board stage. It's just that we believe that the opportunity for growth, because of our core competence in real estate, the opportunity for growth in the stressed real estate segment is very large. Yes, it could be in partnership with someone, it may be standalone, all those options are open.
All right, Mr. Mistry, thanks so much for joining us on CNBC TV18, and many congratulations on that large fundraising that you have just announced. All right, with that, it's back to Nitya then. Nitya, so large fundraising there by HDFC Limited, and we could see much more action when it comes to M&A as well. So 3 areas that he specified, they could be looking at inorganic route in the mortgage lending space, health insurance, many assets are on sale, and the HDFC Limited has the kitty to really deploy by buying out another asset and ramping up its health insurance business. And the third is the stressed asset fund in the real estate space. So lots to watch out for going forward as well, Nitya.
Absolutely, Nisha. Thanks for bringing us that exclusive conversation with Mr. KK Mistry. But on that note, it's time to slip into a quick break and on to another national story then. The Enforcement Directorate carried out raids at Karthi Chidambaram's properties at multiple locations. Now, these raids are in relation to the Aircel Maxis case under Prevention of Money Laundering Act. And CNN News 18's Ashish Mehrishi joins us with more details. Ashish, thanks so much for joining in. And what exactly are you picking up from your sources at the ED?
Well, in fact, this raid was basically done only after, this is what we're learning from our sources in the Enforcement Directorate, is that, Karthi was basically not cooperating in the entire investigation of the ASL Maxis case. A number of summons were sent to him for questioning. First, the searches were conducted under Foreign Exchange Management Act, that is FEMA. And further, after a case was registered under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, this is the first search under PMLA. Now, having said that, basically, the information that the Enforcement Directorate is looking at is on whether, more kickbacks have reached into the companies which are related to Karthi Chidambaram or not. This basically, if you remember, even Subramaniam Swamy had alleged in the past that, P. Chidambaram, when he was the finance minister, he basically had cleared a proposal of ASL Maxis foreign investment, where the entire proposal should have gone to the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. He went beyond his mandate and finally gave an approval. The real investment that has come is of around 3,800 crore rupees. Whereas if you see, P. Chidambaram was only eligible for clearing FDI proposals, FIPB approvals basically, up to 600 crore rupees. So under these circumstances, they're trying to find out under what circumstances did P. Chidambaram clear it. Did Karthi Chidambaram receive any kickback or not? It is alleged in the CBI FIR as well as ECIR filed by Enforcement Directorate that substantial money had reached into the pockets of a company which was basically owned by directly or indirectly owned by Karthi Chidambaram. So what they're trying to find out is on why Karthi is not cooperating in the entire investigation despite a number of summons being issued to him.
Well, thanks so much for all those details, Ashish, and we will keep coming back to you as and when that ED crackdown intensifies. Moving on to the other top story that unfolded yesterday. Never before seen in the annals of the Supreme Court, 4 senior judges held a press conference yesterday accusing the Chief Justice of India of allocating specific cases to benches of his preference. The judges did not pull their punches and went on to warn that democracy is at stake and they were forced to act to save the institution of the Supreme Court. We have Ashmit Kumar and Ashpreet Sethi reporting an unprecedented crisis that has engulfed the entire Indian judiciary as well as the nation at large.
It is with no pleasure in our hearts we were compelled to take this decision to call for a press conference.
Certainly unprecedented. We've never before seen 4 senior judges of the Apex Court come together and then voice their concern about the functioning of the judiciary itself. Judges more often than not voice their concerns through internal mechanisms, but that is essentially what these 4 judges have done. They said that they did try to raise these concerns, they tried to red flag various issues before the Chief Justice of India, but there was just no action.
We thought we owed a responsibility to the institution, to the nation. We tried to collectively persuade the Chief Justice that certain things are not in order, therefore he should take remedial measures. Unfortunately, our efforts failed.
The 4 judges also released a letter highlighting what they see as administrative lapses. The letter reads, and I quote, "There have been instances where cases having far-reaching consequences for the nation had been assigned by the CJI selectively to the benches of their preference without any rational basis for such assignment. This must be guarded against at all costs." End quote.
What appears to have been the tipping point was the assignment of the Justice Loya case. There was an application, 2 petitions indeed that were filed, which raised questions about the death under quote-unquote mysterious circumstances of Justice Loya.
CBI Special Judge Justice B.H. Loya was hearing the case of the Sohrabuddin encounter in Gujarat, and BJP President Amit Shah is an accused in this case. Some of his family members have raised doubts over the circumstances of his death. Justice Gogoi made it clear on record that the assignment of the bench to hear Justice Loya's case was one of the reasons for these judges to speak out now.
It is an issue of assignment of a case, which is an issue raised in that letter.
So was the today? This is about lawyers thing. Is it about
Yes.
We are in the...
This public display of disapproval of the apex court's functioning by its own gatekeepers has left the legal fraternity divided.
We didn't discuss it with any...
Either he agrees with them or he does not agree with them. But he's not bound to agree with everybody. I think all 4 should be impeached.
I congratulate them for having come out and become accountable to the nation, but they have not gone far enough.
It is the most unfortunate and saddest day, not only for Indian judiciary, but for Indian democracy.
This is a event in which we cannot criticize the judges for coming on a press conference. They are men of great integrity, great scholarship.
The Indian judiciary finds itself in a crisis of confidence, and the hope is that a resolution to the current impasse will be found within the judiciary itself. With Ashmit Kumar and Ashpreet Sethi, this is a CNBC TV18 Bureau Report.
Meanwhile, the Attorney General of India, K.K. Venugopal, is likely to hold talks with the 4 dissenting judges who have expressed willingness to actually resolve conflicts. Let's bring in Utkarsh Anand, who's joining us with the latest on the story. Utkarsh, what exactly can we expect going ahead, and will the AG succeed in resolving this unprecedented crisis at the Supreme Court?
A day after 4 most senior judges spoke out against the Chief Justice of India, efforts are likely to be made to make sure that everything is well in the Supreme Court again. During the day, what we can expect is that Attorney General of India, K.K. Venugopal, he's likely to call up these 4 judges to get to know what the real grievances are and how to reach a solution. Chief Justice of India, Justice Deepak Mishra, he is also expected to hold talks with other judges in the Supreme Court to arrive at a finding that how to proceed in this matter. Now, the 4 judges, according to our sources, have indicated that they are open to reconciliation. They are open to, in fact, settle all disputes. But for that, there has to be an institutional solution which will have to be arrived at, so that the CGI starts allocating cases equitably to all the benches and no judge is made feel that he has been bypassed. During the day, we will also see the Supreme Court Bar Association holding up a press meeting at 6 p.m. in the evening to make their stand clear on the issue.
You're watching Business Saturday, and straight on to all the action from the global markets now. It was a fantastic Friday for Wall Street as stocks surged to a record high yesterday after some of the major financial companies in the United States reported strong quarterly results. Now, the Dow rose around 228 points to close at an all-time high. The S&P 500 also reached a record high. The index is currently enjoying its best 10-day start to a year since 2003. From U.S. politics and markets to cryptocurrency now, it's been a tough start of the year for cryptocurrencies. All major currencies are down anywhere between 10 to 50%. But what exactly could be the possible cause of this sudden downfall? Here's a special report from CNBC on the possible reasons of this downfall filed by Seema Modi.
Bitcoin has had a tough start to the year. Just this week, it's lost about 19%. The sell-off started with reports that China is looking to ban all Bitcoin mining, and then accelerated when South Korea announced it's drafting a bill to ban all cryptocurrency trading. That's when Bitcoin broke below $14,000. Add to that a warning from U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, who says the U.S. is working with other countries to prevent cryptocurrencies from being used like Swiss numbered bank accounts. His concern is making sure bad people cannot use these currencies to do bad things. Ripple, another cryptocurrency which has been on the tear recently, closed this week down by 27%. And while the prospect of more regulation initially hurt Ethereum, it rebounded, closing the week higher by 24%. In fact, it's one of the only major cryptocurrencies to end the week in the green.
With that, we're absolutely timed out on this edition of Business Saturday. But keep it with CNBC TV18 for all the latest news and headlines. Thanks for watching.